You're listening to the Let's Go Buffalo podcast, your new favorite podcast for everything Bills and Sabres. Oh, what's going on, everybody? You're listening to the Let's Go Buffalo podcast, your favorite podcast for all things Bills and Sabres, with the pals, Nigel, Tom, and Jake. We got episode 42 coming at you. Do not forget to follow our social medias. You can find us at the handle Let's Go Buff Pod. That's Buff with 2 Fs on Instagram, X, TikTok, and YouTube. Let's get around and say hello to the fellas. Tommy, how you doing, pal?
I'm stupendous.
Stupendous.
Fantastic. Yeah, dude, I'm good. I'm fantastic.
Awesome,
good.
bro.
How are you, buddy?
Dude, I'm great, man. I'm great. Thursday. It's almost Friday, dude.
Yeah.
Love that pre-Friday feeling. It's just always easier getting up for work and stuff on Fridays. So
Feel a
Yeah.
little pep in your step, right?
yeah, just a little bit, right? Torpedo, what's going on, bro?
I'm good. Good to see you guys. Good to be here. Warm weather.
Yeah, bro.
It's good.
Yeah,
After it.
it's been super rainy here in good old Rochester. What's it been raining for you guys or sunny?
A little bit of both.
Both.
Yeah.
A little bit of both.
Yeah, man.
Springtime
It's coming,
weather.
though. It's coming though. We're getting there.
Word, dude. Awesome. We love it. Well, hey, fellas, I got to tell you what. I don't know if I've had a beer since the last time I was on the pod. So I'm exceptionally parched. Can we jump right in with a beverage here?
Yeah, ready? Kind of
Excellent.
sound.
Okay. Hold on. Let me get myself ready. 3, 2, 1.
I spy that little can there, Nige. What do you have?
I got the good old Juicer Hazy IPA from Tom's backyard, Harpoon Brewing.
They
I'm
actually
gonna
hook up to the sewer system up here. So it's really just that's what you get. You turn on the faucet and it's just
That sounds
Tom, I'm a
absolutely
little concerned your sewer's coming through your faucets. But,
Is that
All right.
that infrastructure in Vermont sound?
not a
It doesn't quite
civil
sound-
engineer. Yeah. Just
Jake, I'm also stealing a page out of your book for this pod. I'm gonna go out of the glass.
ooh, I like it.
Yeah, clean it up a little bit. Jake, what are you drinking, buddy?
I found Maine Beer Company near me, so I have the Spring Kolsch.
Look at that bottle.
It's a hefty one. It's nice.
That is
Ooh,
sick.
baby.
Dude. How many ounces is that?
16.
yeah.
It's 1 pint. 1 pint.
Yeah,
It's just
okay.
just a different shape.
Wow, it looks huge.
Yeah,
How many
so-
times have you heard that in your life, Jake?
Very few. You're the first. You're my first, Nigel.
I'm glad I could do that for you. Tommy, what do you got, buddy?
Mine's called Sprang, and I thought it was perfect for today. It's also Kolsch.
Dang.
Yeah.
Look at that sweet little bunny rabbit.
Yeah. And
Awesome.
it's from I forgot to look. It's from Trillium. Duh, I knew that.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Look at you two boys with your Kolsch's. I love a good Kolsch, dude.
Clink.
We actually had a
New England
couple.
Kolsch.
Yeah, dude. Well, the Jenny Red Eye Kolsch too is absolutely unreal, dude. But, yeah, absolutely delicious. Well, boys, we got a good chunk of stuff to talk about today. Jake, I'm dying, dude. We haven't talked playoffs at all, and I know the Sabres are obviously not in it, but I think you're like me in that once the playoffs start, you're like watching every game that you can. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm dying to talk about it too. I think we should.
Yeah.
Pretty much, if I'm free and don't have anything going on, I'm putting the game on.
Yeah. Well, dude, what's been your impression so far with everything?
Oh man, I think the first round has been a little underwhelming compared to other years. Unfortunately, for some series, like the Rangers Capitals series was over before it started.
Yeah, terrible.
The Islanders series I thought was over before it started. I didn't think the Capitals or Islanders had any business being in the playoffs. It was kind
Agreed.
of a slap fight of who's gonna try their hardest to get out of the playoffs, not who's gonna go and take the spot.
Yeah.
So those were a bit underwhelming. I was surprised by Winnipeg. I don't know about you, but they really, really fell flat. I mean, they're also playing what could be the cup winner in Colorado, but
Legit, dude. Yeah. No, dude, because I think didn't Winnipeg take game 1 in that series, and they looked like fucking dominant.
They did, yeah.
Like there was a stretch there where they looked unstoppable, and for the first time in a long time, I saw Colorado on their heels, dude. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. But once Colorado found their footing, dude, it was a slaughter, dude. Like unbelievable. I couldn't believe like that. Oh my god, dude, that Colorado Avalanche offense is just absolutely astounding, dude. Just so
It's dynamic, yeah. And I think the difference in the series too is Colorado has guys that can turn it up another level. McKinnon and Rantanen and Makar Makar too, but I don't think he really did it in the series. But McKinnon and Rantanen, dude, can just go from like in the snap of fingers, turn up the pressure and dominate other teams. It's fun to watch.
Yeah. I tweeted this from my personal account the other night. It is just an absolute privilege to watch Nate McKinnon play hockey, dude. He is so fast, so unbelievably strong, dude. And his physicality is crazy, dude. Not for nothing, man. Like, I know McDavid's the best player in the world, skill-wise at least. I don't think there's any debate there. That being said, dude, when the playoffs are coming to picture, dude, I am taking Nate McKinnon over Connor McDavid 10 times out of 10, dude. And it is just because of all the other elements of the game that you get with a Nate McKinnon as compared to a Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid, too, still will turn it up a little bit in the playoffs in terms of the physicality, but nothing like the way Nate McKinnon does, dude. Like, in terms of a player that is insanely skilled but will tear your head off, Nate McKinnon is just like at the top of that list for me, dude. He's such a monster.
He's a bull. Yeah, he's so violent when he skates too.
Dude.
He's tough to stop. He I feel bad for the ice under his feet when he's moving. Like
he skates like he's pissed at the ice, dude.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think that debate of best players is a bit of a close one between him and McDavid. It's like you said, McDavid's done it for longer and is probably more skilled, but as far as a complete player, it's hard to find somebody more complete than McKinnon.
It really is, dude. And I mean, like, I don't know. It seems like McDavid is a lock for 110 plus points a season. So, like, how do you say no to that? But I mean, my God, dude, just because this is always my biggest takeaway from the playoffs, dude. The physicality across the board is just like the speed and the power at which these guys are hitting each other. It is nuts, dude. And I feel like even this year, the amount of like big hits, like guys' feet leaving the ice hits, have been more than I have ever seen in my life, dude. It never fails to amaze me how physical the NHL playoffs are, dude. It's the most intense playoffs I've ever seen in any sport ever in my life. It makes the NFL look like a joke. MLB shouldn't even be a sport when you compare the two. Like, it's so crazy.
Yeah, I agree. It's a battle, and they're playing every other night and doing that too. It's not,
dude.
That's the thing that's insane, right? Like, these guys are just setting themselves up for just like bowling pins for like, how long does the series go? I mean, a month and a half. If you go through multiple, levels of the playoffs, like,
they start in April and they end. It plays. Stanley Cup goes up in June.
Yeah.
So,
and
bro.
Crazy.
You want to talk about a violent game? Did you watch Carolina Rangers on Tuesday night?
Dude, okay, so did you see the clip of Trouba flying through the air and almost decapitated what's-his-face, dude?
Only Trouba would be involved in that.
Bro, if his elbow connected, I'm not sure that Trouba would ever be able to play in the NHL again. That would have been so unbelievably egregious. Dude, I thought someone was going to die in that game. I couldn't believe it.
They were trying to injure each other, and I know it's kind of the MO this time of year, but that was particularly violent.
And that's the word, dude. The word for that game, it's not physical, it's violent. Like, that game, I was like at points, like grabbing like the armrest on my couch, being like, oh my God, is that guy okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only Jacob Trouba could be involved in a play like that. I'm glad he didn't connect it. It would be
that guy's career might have been over if he connected with his head, dude. Oh my God, I'm so glad that he didn't. I'm ready to talk about the Maple Leafs. How about you, Jake?
I am. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I can, and this is a digital watch, so I don't have to set anything, but I have a couple manual watches in my dresser that I set to the Maple Leafs losing in the playoffs to the Boston Bruins. That's how I know that those are on, because this time of year, they lose in the first round of the Bruins. Dude, okay. I know the Maple Leafs are 1,000 times better than the Sabres, dude. But oh my God, when you've got 4 players that have like 60% of your salary cap and you can't spend money elsewhere and you keep doing the same thing and expecting the different results, dude. If I check my Webster's real quick, I believe that's the definition of insanity. I love the Maple Leafs just shitting down their leg year after year after year. I know the Sabres don't even get into the playoffs to shit down their leg, but oh my God, this is what, 6 years, I think, of them losing in the first round like this. Like,
at least, yeah.
At least, dude. I just mean like with this core.
Yeah.
And they're not changing anything, dude. They just keep these same 4 guys and keep paying them, and nothing's changing, dude. And it's just like, oh my God, they're going through GMs and coaches as quickly as the Sabres are. And their stakes are just high. Oh my God, it brings me so much joy. What do you think, Jake?
It's definitely some Schadenfreude going on. I take a little bit of pleasure in watching their pain. I generally, I'm not gonna say it. I feel bad for some of the more tortured fans. I don't feel bad for the assholes that come down to KeyBank and are banging on the glass in KeyBank Center.
Yeah,
fuck those guys. And girls.
Fuck them all.
We're very open here on this podcast.
I've met some Maple Leaf fans, and like the ones that are normal fans, I feel bad for them. Like it's tough to watch a team do that year after year after year after year. But I do take a little bit of joy in that knife being twisted. And yeah, since 2017 was the first time that they made the playoffs with this core. Okay. Matthews, Marner, that crew.
Mm-hmm.
Lost to the Capitals in the first round. You're right. They've gotten out of the first round one time since then, last year, and then got immediately thrashed by Florida.
Yes.
They beat a Tampa Bay team that also hasn't been out of the first round since their cups, and is looking a bit more anemic than they have during their cup runs.
For sure.
So how much you can put on those games, I don't know. The other telling stat to me is that the Game 7 that they lost to the Bruins was their 6th Game 7 that they lost in a row. There's no killer mentality there. None. They fold. You can blame that on coaching. You can blame it on the players, but they've tried multiple coaches and it hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. So I think the easy phrase in hockey that teams throw around is that you can't fire all the players. You can fire the coach. So that's why coaches get changed a lot. I think we might see a time where they're about to change both.
Yeah. Well, they just fired Sheldon Keefe literally today.
Yeah, right? Exactly. He's gone.
So Jake, what are you doing? And maybe this is a tough question because I asking it don't know the status of it. So when we're talking about the big 4 with Toronto, Matthews, Marner, Nylander, and I'm blanking. Tavares. Yeah, Tavares. Tavares is unmovable with his age and his salary. So I mean, like, I don't think anybody's going to take him on. I would imagine. What do you think?
I doubt it. I think he has 1 year left, so I could see it in that regard. He's got 1 more season left, so it's like you could, but he's also signed for $11 million. He's 33 years old. I agree with you. You're probably not going to move him, and if you are, you're retaining half of his salary and probably paying to move him. So
right,
Matthews probably unlikely.
Matthews just re-upped to the tune of $13 million a year, so he's not going anywhere, right?
Correct. Yep.
Nylander, he's the one I'm not sure about in terms of his contract.
So Nylander signed an extension, so his extension kicks in next year at $11.5 million.
So he's not going anywhere. Who's the odd man out in terms of contract right now? It's Mitchie Marner, baby. So what do you think, Jake? Are they going to try and move him?
I don't know. He's also signed for 1 more year. He's under contract for $10.9 million next year. He's certainly movable. I've heard Elliot Friedman known. He's like the hockey godfather. He's talked a lot about how the Maple Leafs aren't really willing to lose a trade, and they want to get back a equal value for somebody like Marner. I think that's tough to do. I think you kind of have to take your medicine if you're trading a player of his ability.
Yes, you do.
And I think they probably get that back. Like I think their offense can take a hit of losing Mitch Marner's production and make it up piecemeal elsewhere. It's whether or not they're willing to. I don't know. And this offseason might be the catalyst of them missing the second round again to their division rival that they've lost 4 times to in the last decade. It might push him over the edge. I don't know where he goes. I hope it's not Buffalo, but I think he might be on the move. Yeah.
Okay, so you just said it too, because I was about to be like, okay, Buffalo has a shit ton of cap space, right? Like, we're one of the few teams that could take on a Mitch Marner financially and have it be something that can work for us. Now, do you want to? Because I'm for it. I would. Well, you go, because you just said no, and I'm curious.
I don't want to railroad. You're welcome to go.
No. You go, because you said it first. Because I thought we were on the same page with this one.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, hit it, Tom. Go off.
Yeah, Mitchie. Come on, buddy. Come on. No. Jake, what do you got?
I am not interested in Mitch Marner as a player for Buffalo in general. I think so I guess just very base layer, not even talking about him as a fit with the Sabres roster or not, just as a player. It is no secret that from game 82 to game 1 of the playoffs, the game of hockey changes dramatically. It's a different game. We agree. We talked about how much more physical it gets. The style of play changes.
100%. It's a different league overnight.
For sure. Most players adapt their game and are become different players in the playoffs. Look at Florida and Boston last night, like Pasternak going out and scrapping with Matthew Tkachuk. Like, it's a showboaty example, but it is an example of players stepping up and changing their game in the playoffs.
Yeah.
There's the player that we're talking about, and I do not think he's capable or willing to change his game in the playoffs. He plays a perimeter style, which worked great in the regular season, and he puts up a lot of points and looks flashy doing it, but he doesn't get to dirty areas in the playoffs. He doesn't change his style. The intensity ratchets up around him, and it feels like he wilts to me. This is only my opinion, but he just seems lost in the playoffs. His production doesn't do much in the playoffs. The playoffs when you need your best players to be your best players, and he is not one of them to me. All that said, he's 10.9 million right now too. That number's going up. He was a drama queen with him and his princess father back during contract negotiations. He's not taking a cent less than he's making right now. It's 10.9 plus. It's probably going up, and he's probably going to drag you through some media rounds during that extension. So that's enough for me, because Buffalo's a team. That's the point I was trying to get to. Buffalo's a team that's not made the playoffs in a long time. We don't know how some of these guys are going to react to playoff hockey, who's going to be able to step up to it and who's going to falter. So I don't need to add somebody that I think is a known wilter in the playoffs to add to the team to get them regular season success. I know regular season success gets you to the playoffs, but it's too expensive. He's too much of a diva. He's too much of a run to the media and run to daddy when he doesn't get the dollar value that he wants. I'm so good on Mitch
Marner.
Okay. Play devil's advocate. Why am I wrong?
Sorry, I was about to sneeze and then it went away. So and the whole time this podcast has existed, all 42 weeks of it or whatever, I have been hammering the table for players that do everything you just said that Mitch doesn't, getting into the dirty areas, yada, 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 yada.
Forechecking. We've talked about forechecking too.
Forechecking, yes, all that stuff. I disagree with you in the sense that I feel like so if you're just talking about Toronto's core four, right? Those four guys we talked about, I feel like of all of them, Mitch is the scrappiest. I feel like when he plays us, he is the one that and it's not to the level that you would like to see an NHL caliber player do it, I guess. But I feel like he does it more than the other guys. I see him throw the body around. I see him in the corners. I am not going to sit here and say that you are wrong about the playoffs. Okay. Here is where I'm not. I think maybe his defensive game is better than we maybe want to acknowledge. So for Mitch Marner's career, 576 games played, he's a plus 110. That feels to me for a forward that's insanely skilled, dude. That feels like a pretty solid number, to the point where, when I see like some of the players on this Sabres team that are like, mostly like they end the season at like +3, like that kind of a thing. He's not doing that. And I know that plus minus is not like a 100% indicator of solid defense, but it still says something to me that he's got a plus 110. I don't think his defensive game is awful. And the last stat I guess I'll say is 576 games played, 639 career points, dude. Like, we could fucking use that on this team. I know we've talked about scrappy, like needing more scrap and less skill, but this Sabres team doesn't have a 100-point player anywhere. So, and without knowing the personality, because it seems like recently there's been some locker room drama in Toronto, and it seems like it's caused by Mitch Marner. So that concerns me. That's my biggest minus in the minus column for Mitch Marner right now is he strikes me as a bit of a diva in some capacity, but I can't sit here and say that the Sabres can't use a player like him. And we've got the cap for it. And if he shows up and it's shitty for a year, you don't re-sign him. So
you're talking about renting him for a year, because that's a different story. But I think what Toronto asks would make you shudder to trade for him.
See, and if that's the case, then I'm not interested in the 1 year rental because of what we would have to give up. I think
it's probably like Power or Byram. If you include one of those,
and I don't, I don't, not for a 1 year rental, but I can't shake this idea that's because eventually, dude, somebody in Toronto has to recognize the fact that what they need to do is get rid of one of those big four contracts, right? Because you take one of those contracts off the books, suddenly you've got the space for like 3 to 4 bottom 6 players that fit more of your mold of what the team needs. At some point, somebody in Toronto's got to recognize the fact that they just have to dump some money. So that's what leads me to believe that maybe they won't ask all of King Midas and Silver. Now, it's Toronto, and they're the most famous market in hockey. They need to appease the headlines.
Yeah, exactly.
So I get that it's going to require maybe a Bowen Byram or an Owen Power. And if that's the case, I'm not interested. But to sum it up, dude, I'm not going to sit here and say that the Sabres aren't going to benefit from a 100-point player like that, who, from my eye test, does more defensively than people want to give him credit for.
Fair enough. No, I respect the argument. Yeah, we're always going to disagree on this. You're not going to convince me, and I'm probably not going to convince you.
Yeah, I think I'm much more likely to be convinced than you are, because I recognize the fact that there's a good potential for him to be a diva, and I'm not interested in that. So yeah, I think you could, like, if I gave you another 5 minutes to convince me, there's a really good chance that you could. But
and you're rallying for like a type of player to add to the roster, and I'm on board with that too. Like, we need to add to this roster, but I'm saying it's not him for me.
Yeah, and I've been banging the table all year that we've got enough skill. We just need to retool the bottom 6. So I'm contradicting myself here, but I don't know. When it's a 100-point player, I don't know. I feel like shit changes for me. You know?
It's fair. It's fair. I think we should open this up again when we do some off-season stuff on the Sabres. I think that'd be fun to look at the cap space too, because I think I haven't looked at it closely, but my opinion is that the cap space is going to dry up quicker than we'd both like it to. But
Which is a great
anyways.
point too, because who's got to Bowen Byram's got to be re-signed next summer too. He's going to be 7 to 8, I would imagine, somewhere around there, depending on the season, 6 to 8 maybe.
Probably, yeah, I agree.
So,
all right, well, let's table that. Let's come back to Sabre stuff, off-season chat another time, maybe when.
For sure.
Real quick on the other side of that series, Jeremy Swayman, man, how much fun has he been to watch? I know Game 2 against Florida wasn't his fault, but he's been picture perfect, man.
Yeah, yes, he's been awesome. I just fucking hate Boston, so I hope he gets a really, really, really bad hangnail and can't play. I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm sorry, Swayman. I'm that petty. I hope that something just inconvenient enough happens that you can't play, but you continue to have a great career.
Fair enough. Well, luckily they have a Vezina winner to turn to if he goes down.
Dude, what the fuck?
No, I think you'll get your wish. I think Florida is too much for Boston to handle.
I think so too, bro. That game 1 seemed like a bit of a fluke there. Maybe not fluke. That's probably not a correct word, but I think from what the eye test in game 1 and game 2 looked a lot more like Florida's game, and I didn't see Boston's game change that much between the two games. I agree. I just think Florida's going to be too much.
Agreed. Yeah. They're a machine, dude. They're going places.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't drop off from last playoffs, and I truly think the only reason they lost is because they ran into Vegas and injuries.
Yeah, and Bob looks awesome still. Bob's playing great hockey. Their big guys are stepping up. Kachuk, Rhino, Barkov, all those guys are contributing. So,
oh my god, we could do another 20 minutes on Barkov, but we should.
Yeah, yeah, yep, totally, dude.
I'll pick one more series, and then maybe.
Yeah. Did you have one that you're dying to talk? Oh, I feel like we should talk about the Rangers, bro. So for me, dude, and I know I talked about how crazy Colorado looks. I don't think anybody's stopping the Rangers. They look like an absolute. They haven't lost yet.
Yeah, no, they haven't.
No, they look like an.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty. It's decent. They just look like such a buzzsaw to me, dude. Shesterkin's playing awesome. Zibanejad that guy seems to be getting. He's aging backwards, dude. As he gets older, I feel like he gets younger and faster. Chris Kreider might be the craftiest player in the NHL aside from Crosby, dude. He is so nasty in front of the net. Oh my God, I love watching Chris Kreider.
Yeah, they're a fun team to watch, man. Yeah, I agree. The last time they went 6-0 to start the playoffs, they won the cup. So not saying that they're gonna, but it's a promising start.
Yeah, they're my pick. So I do the NHL bracket playoff every year thing, and they're my team. I picked them to win. Just a quick toot of my own horn. I crushed the first round, 10 out of 10, dude. Nailed him.
Hell yeah,
dude, that's awesome.
Wait, 10 out.
That was just me.
Sorry.
100%, just 100%.
I took 5 gold stars.
Way too literally. In my head, I was like, wait. There's how
many series are there?
Did I miss any?
No, dude. I just mean I got it 100% correct, which I've never done before. So that was cool.
So wait, all right. So that's a good segue. Wrap us up by telling us who your round 2 picks were for that bracket. And real quick, before I say that, I agree with you. I think Rangers win it. I think Carolina makes it very difficult. It goes to 7.
Yeah, I could see it going to 7 for sure, dude. I need to look at. Hold on, let me look at the playoffs here. Okay, I picked from the East. I picked the Rangers in Florida for the Eastern Conference Final,
which would be such a great series.
Oh my God, injected into my veins, dude. I'll take an IV of that series. And then from the West, I picked Vancouver and Colorado to go.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I think, makes sense.
The one I'm not concerned about Colorado beating Dallas, if I'm being totally honest.
Really?
I'm not.
Oh, I disagree.
I am. I'm way more concerned about Edmonton beating Vancouver. Personally. Just and honestly, had I known that Vancouver was going to be down to their number 3 goalie, I probably wouldn't have picked them because I have them in the finals against I have Colorado in the finals, but I wouldn't have picked Vancouver to go very far if I had known they were going to be in the third goalie.
Well, Demko could be back. I think I saw he could be available game 5.
I saw that as well. Yeah, game 5 is what they're looking at. So, yeah, dude, I think Carolina's going to make it nasty for New York, but I mean, they run 4 lines that can score, dude, and that defensive core is sick. And for my money, they have the best goalie in the playoffs right now. I know that. I know that Shesterkin doesn't have the same numbers that Swayman does, but I just think Shesterkin's a better goalie than Swayman.
Wow. Oh, those are fighting words.
Yeah.
No, I respect. It's 1 and 2 for me, but I got to give their crown to Swayman.
Yeah. Well, we could debate that one too for another 20 minutes. Oh
my God. Yeah. The great goalie debate.
Yeah.
Oh.
So NHL playoffs are great, but real quick, because we are a Buffalo Sabres podcast, Amerks I'm not going to say they're crushing it, but they're getting it done when it needs to get done in the biggest moments. Elimination game tomorrow night in Rochester, game 5. I'm going. I got center ice 200 level seats for the sweet price of $40. I love the AHL. I couldn't be more thrilled, but looking forward to seeing some of these guys that I'm most excited to just watch Devin Levi. But aside from that, dude, I'm super stoked. So go Amerks. That would be sick if they could make a nice playoff run here.
Which round of the playoffs are they in?
This is still the first round. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep. AHL, I think the first couple rounds are just a best of 5 instead of best of 7.
Okay.
So this is tied to a piece right now with game 5 being tomorrow.
Ooh,
yeah.
Dude,
game 4 was crazy, dude. Game 4, Rochester was down 3-0 and they came back and they won it in overtime. Yeah. So they got their work cut out for them. Syracuse is no joke, but I don't feel super confident that a ton of those guys are going to be on the Sabres next year. I don't know how that's going to shake out because there's a couple names to think about, right? Rusek, Kulik, Devin Levi. Like, are they going to bring Levi up or are they going to let him cook in the AHL for another year? I don't know. But
who knows?
This is what I will say is this is awesome playoff experience for Devin Levi. Like being in an elimination game tomorrow night is going to be just like such a win or lose. It's going to be such an awesome resume builder for him. So I'm excited for them to get that experience, and it should be a good time.
Unshaken too. No matter what happens, I don't think it's his fault tomorrow night.
No, dude. Game 3, they lost like 2-1. He had 60 something saves. It went into double overtime, or I think it was 2-3. 2-3 was the final score of that game.
That is wild.
It was actually, I remember it exactly, 60 saves on 62 shots. So I mean, my God.
What more can you ask the guy to do?
Literally nothing. You can't ask any more of him. Somebody's got to step up and score a fucking goal. So
yeah.
But yeah. So is that all we got for hockey talk, Jake? Are you satisfied, buddy?
I could keep going for another hour, but
dude. Yeah.
I think we should move on. Yeah.
All right.
We're gonna need a second episode a week.
Tommy, you look like you have some fun things to bring to the table.
I have a little game here for you boys.
I love
because games. It's springtime, right? It's the season of hope. It's the season of new beginnings, and I want you boys, both of you, to dig deep into your thesauruses and your big vats of enthusiasm, and we are gonna send essentially little 10-second hype season kind of messages to some of our favorite Bills and Sabres players. Okay, so these are players who maybe are already superstars, or maybe they're on the up and up, or maybe they kind of like hit a wall and, man, they just need a pick-me-up. I need you, despite if you think that they don't deserve a hype up, we got to give them one. So I want you to tell a story, spin some words, because I know both of you can do that quite well. And I'm going to kind of shoot some Bills and Sabres names at you, and together, 10-15 seconds of just electricity. Does that make sense?
Okay, so are Jake and I doing the hype up videos together, or are we doing them separately?
Separate. How about
separate? Okay. All right. So
it's just like 5 to 10 seconds. It's not long. You just got to say, okay, what does this guy do awesome? What does he need to do? Just hype him up.
Okay, so should we each do one for each team, or should like I do the Bills and Jake do the Sabres?
Oh no, I got a list for you. Don't
Oh,
worry.
Tom's got a list. All right, cool.
I'll be nice, Jake.
All
I'll
right.
be nice. I'm not going to give you anything crazy.
Okay. Okay.
Jake, Reed Ferguson, what does he have to change? Go.
Does
that make sense?
Oh man,
Yeah,
you're
I
asking me to be. I'm not a peppy boy, but I'll try to be peppy.
I can
right.
flip it up here.
All right, Nige, this is for you, bud. You ready? And I'll kind of spit names at you as I kind of feel you. Kind of, I'll make it a good timing. Are you ready?
Okay.
Here we go. All right, hype up season 2024, baby. Let's go, boys. UPL.
UPL, bro. You did it. You broke out, baby. Now you just got to carry that shit through, dog. You have to see it through. One season ain't enough. We need a bigger sample size.
Matthew Milano.
Matthew Milano, you're coming off that fractured tibia, bro. I know it fucking hurt so bad, but we know you're the fucking GOAT. You got to carry this defense on your big goddamn biceps.
Keon,
rookie year, baby. Number 0. 0 on your chest, 100 in our hearts, baby. Rookie of the year coming in hot. Aggressive. Go get that ball.
One last one, Khalil Shakir.
Same as UPL, baby. You had that breakout year. Yak. You catch that ball and you go north, baby. You keep that shit rolling, and you're going to be the number 1 wide receiver on the Bills.
That was incredible. How the fuck do I go after that? Are you fucking kidding me, Tom?
All right, Jake, you'll get another day. I'll hit you
No.
with another one. You ready? You want to go?
Yeah, of course. I'm not going to back out. I'm just.
Wait, give me 5 seconds? I'm going to get one more beer.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
well,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
gonna. Yeah. See, this is the kind of night. I already came stocked with the second, so that was good. That was perfect.
That was so good. I'm so impressed. And
I'm ready.
also, like, where the fuck was Nigel when I was doing T-ball when I was 7 years old? I needed some of that hype up, you know?
Dude, I'd be
I don't
lying if there wasn't a part of me that's like, man, I would love to be a hockey dad. I'd be the one shouting profanities at the ref, dude. Like, all right,
Amazing.
sorry, I'm ready.
All right, Jake, are you ready?
I don't know, but I'll give it my best shot.
Keep it short. You ready? Here we go. All right. Rasmus Dahlin, baby.
All right, Ras Money, you got it, man. You made the playoffs for the first time in your long career, and we're all proud of you. And you're gonna go get them.
Zach Benson.
Baby Benson boy, you also made they made the playoffs, right? That's what we're saying. Yeah.
What?
You
What?
did
Wait a
it.
minute. Hold on. This is going into next season,
This
Jake.
is
You're
like,
hyping
okay.
them going into
Oh
next
shit.
season.
Oh
So-
shit. Okay.
So no
I was
one's
like,
made the
Rasmus
playoffs
Dahlin
yet.
did not make the playoffs.
Listening comprehension's at an all-time low, but I got this.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
This is-
Reset.
All right, reset. All right, I'm gonna give you different players.
No, I want to do Zach Benson again.
Okay, ready? Here we go.
I feel
Hype
I
up
need
season,
to
baby.
repeat myself. All right.
Zach Benson.
Zachy boy, you did it. You went through the off season. You pressed buttons at your parents' carnival up in Saskatoon, and you're back.
Joshua Allen.
Yeah, Josh. Fuck, you look good in shorts. You know, huck the ball, Rockstar, and don't get too. What's his girlfriend's name? Haley. Don't get too distracted by Haley next year.
Okay, one more.
Okay, go ahead.
Jimbo Cook. James
Ah, Jimbo, my good friend Jimbo. You run that ball, Mister. You go.
Oh, all right. I got all the clips I need for the week, boys, right here.
Jimbo, you. Oh my
This,
god, that was so good.
It's so good.
This really isn't my strong suit.
Oh
Jake,
my
when I need to
God.
pick me up, I'm calling you, buddy. All right.
Oh my
I-
goodness.
It's going to be rough when I have children. I'm cheering them.
Shit.
Oh my goodness, that was so good. Tom,
boy.
great game, buddy.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I thought it'd be fun. All right,
I liked
nice.
other games you had better.
No, we're gonna make Jake do this again every once in a while. It is
Yes.
now gonna be a bit.
Oh God.
This has become a bit. All right. So moving forward, we have not had a chance to really talk about the Bills 2024 draft class with Nigel. So I am excited to kind of hear your thoughts, pal. And I'm gonna give you some superlatives to give out. I don't know why I'm feeling gamey tonight, but
I love it.
who is of our draft class? Who's your draft darling? Who's a guy you're like super stoked about?
Okay. So I think the guy I'm most excited about is probably Cedric Van Pran Granger, dude. I just think the value here in the 5th round was absolutely through the roof. I'm telling you guys, don't sleep on this kid. I think there's a decent chance he could contend for a starting spot this season.
Man, I'd be about it, right? And especially because that puts, imagine our guard depth then, right? That puts Connor McGovern or David Edwards as a depth guard on either side. Like, if, God forbid, Osiris Torrance needs to, recover from an injury or something. Like, we have the depth. To be honest with you, I heard Bean already talk about that. So, oh my gosh, I can't remember his full last name. Van Pran Cedric.
Granger.
Right.
VPG.
That's cool. Yeah, I like it. VPG is going to get some run in training camp at guard as well. So I imagine he's probably the succession plan at center. But let's see what happens at guard too. But yeah, dude, I great pick, amazing pick. Like,
insane value there.
Insane. I mean, the biggest thing is that he's kind of smaller. Like, what do you think made him drop to the 5th round?
Man, it's really, really, really tough to say because he's not even, I guess he's a little bit light, 6'4", 310. I feel like you like your lineman to be 10 to 20 pounds heavier there. But I'm not really sure what caused him to drop, dude. I know that his strength is his athleticism. So I think he was in most mock drafts, dude. I'm pretty sure this guy was a projected like 3rd round pick.
Let's go. I mean, and especially to the Bills, like we've had athletic, smaller centers with Mitch Morse, right?
Yeah,
like
for sure.
He kind of fits the mold.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a completely different style player than Mitch. So I love it. I great pick, dude.
Yeah.
Great pick. And then who's maybe a dark horse, a player that people are probably writing off or not thinking about, that is really going to make more of an impact than we think.
Yeah, I think that's Javon Solomon, dude. I'm gonna go on a bit of a limb here. Actually, can I change that answer? Or am I locked in at this point?
Mm-hmm. No, change the way.
I'm gonna flip it around. And I'm gonna say Ray Davis. I was out on Ray Davis at the initial point of the pick. I didn't love, and I watched very little film on him, but what I saw, I didn't love. Not a dude that I was soaked on when we drafted him. However, I think he's a great compliment to James Cook. And I think one of the biggest things about him, dude, that I didn't realize, and that just goes with the lack of film that I watched, I didn't realize how good he was out of the backfield.
Yeah.
Which is huge. I also did a little bit more film on him since we drafted him. He's probably going to be the best pass blocking back out of the 3 that are likely going to make the team.
Which is great for where he's going to be on the depth chart. Like, that's what you want out of him.
Exactly, especially because James Cook is cheeks at it. So,
yeah.
I think Ray Davis is going to be a guy that ends up contributing a good amount to this team.
Cool. I love that. Now, just let's not leave Javon out. Javon Solomon, man, I do think, especially because our edge room is so thin, in my mind, maybe one of the thinnest on the team right now. I think he'll have a very good opportunity to be able to come in and make an impact, especially because we can kind of set him up to be in these pass rushing situations where we don't have to. We have good run defenders, on the edge. We're not going to ask him to do that. So if he can come in and make an impact on special teams, which is very possible, especially with these new kickoff rules, I bet more DNs and linebackers and tight ends and, larger safeties, larger bodied players are going to be involved. So if he can come in and be competent and make himself a role there, he's going to make the team. And hopefully we can set the guy loose, because Jake, he was the most productive edge rusher, sack producing edge rusher in college last year, like the highest in the entire college, anywhere in college. Like, it's phenomenal.
Now, I think context is important there. He played for Troy, so his competition wasn't elite. It's not like he was against SEC competition. That being said, his numbers were. Yeah, he still got it done. And if you recall, when we did our mock drafts here on the pod, I drafted him in the 4th round. Yep. So the fact that Bean got him in the 5th, dude, I like this pick. He's definitely going to be a pass rush specialist. You're not going to see him on 3rd and 1. He's not a run game guy, but a 3rd and long, dude, obvious passing situations, you're going to see Javon Solomon in the game.
Yeah, I love it. Where are you at? I know we've had some time and some context. Where are you at with Brandon Beane trading down in the 1st? I knew this is the answer I was going to get.
Okay. I'm going to be, and this is, I don't know if you even know it's unpopular, because I'm going to preface it by saying I want Keon Coleman to succeed like I want oxygen in my lungs, dude. This kid is so genuinely, purely, unabashedly himself, dude. He doesn't pull any punches for anybody. He's a great personality. He seems like a great young dude. That being said, I just don't have the confidence that he is going to succeed at the NFL yet. I don't have it. I'm sorry. He can't separate. He can't separate. And I recognize that speed is not the only way to separate. But he can't separate with speed at all, or route running. And the proof is in the pudding that Josh Allen succeeds the most when he has guys that separate with speed and route running and all that stuff. Gabe Davis, we saw he was a one-trick pony. Yes, Keon Coleman's more athletic than Gabe Davis. But I have to say, dude, I would have been way more thrilled with the trade down if we drafted Cooper DeJean. I'm dying on that hill, dude. I'm sorry. I went back excuse me, was thinking to myself, is there a possibility that I overhyped Cooper DeJean? And I went back and watched the film again, dude. I think this kid is such a fucking gamer. I think he's a monster, dude. And I know safety is not a high impact position. But if you equate the two, right, if 50% of your plays are run plays, that's 50% where a wide receiver is not doing much, right? And if you want to use that same logic with defense, same goes for the safety. So I don't want to hear positional differences on that debate there either. I think the value of Cooper DeJean at pick 28, 32, and 33 was elite. The elite of elite, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. I would feel a lot better if we traded back and took Cooper DeJean.
No, dude. Fair enough. Well, I mean, and the time will tell, right? Like this decision, we're going to know in 1, 2, 3 seasons if which decision was the better decision.
And real quick, I because I don't want this to get twisted as me rooting for Keon to fail. He's on the Bills now. I am desperate for him to be great. I would do anything for him to be great. I hope in my core of cores that he's the best receiver the Bills have ever seen. And I hope I'm wrong about my predictions, but I see a guy that can't separate the way Josh Allen is going to want him to separate. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I think what will be really interesting. Sorry, go ahead, Jake. You got a question.
No, all good. I was going to say, I saw a lot that Josh specifically targeted Keon as the guy that he wanted to play with. Do you think that's Josh not knowing what has worked for him so far, or like what?
No.
Not that he's not aware of that, but like what what am I trying to ask? Like what does Josh see in him that is appealing? Like why was he the guy for Josh?
There are so many elite things about Keon Coleman, and one of those things is his physicality, right? He's an incredibly physical wide receiver, very strong. We all know that his perks are his body control and his ball skills and his contested catch ability.
Absolutely.
Ball skills.
Ball skills. I think Josh, I think if I'm Josh Allen, I saw what I had on several occasions with Gabe Davis, and I want that, but better. Right? Because I think if you're Josh, you probably see, and this might be a stretch, dude. In terms of route running, I think Stephon Diggs is replaced by Khalil Shakir.
Yeah, I think so.
I just think so. I mean, that tape isn't, that drop off from Stephon Diggs to Khalil Shakir in terms of route running isn't so steep that I don't think he could become that for this team.
Wow.
Seriously. Yeah, I think Shakir's insane.
I'm not doubting you at all. It's just that wasn't a narrative at all until all of a sudden, oh shit, Diggs is gone. And
yeah, exactly.
It's encouraging to hear.
And I think a guy like Khalil Shakir is the reason that they feel like they can move on from a Stephon Diggs. So I think what Josh probably saw in Keon Coleman is he's an upgraded Gabe Davis for sure, dude. No two ways about it. I just feel better about a guy that can separate with route running and speed.
Yeah.
And we've got that still. We've got it. Khalil, Curtis Samuel, James Cook, Dalton Kincaid, right? Like you've got it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. How we see Joe Brady use him is going to make a big difference, right?
Yes.
And because the kid plays fast. And this is a Brandon Beane quote. I don't know if those Bills fans out there have watched the new Buffalo Bills Embedded video that came out all about the draft. It's phenomenal if you haven't. It's on the Bills YouTube channel. So cool. Just watching all the behind the scenes. And Beane's come out and said that, like, if you can be fast. You could be a sub 4.3, sub 4.4 player, but if you're not intelligent, you're not going to play at that speed. So I think that they were convinced that Keon has the intelligence and the football smarts and the football knowledge to be able to kind of fit into a system, play up to his potential, and be able to kind of make these like electric acrobatic plays on a regular basis. So I agree. I am willing to. My thought is that Keon will be like the third most targeted player in this offense. I think it's going to be Dalton Kincaid by far. I think he's going to be in wide receiver 1 numbers. And then it's Khalil Shakir and then Keon Coleman. But Keon's going to be used in really significant spots like third downs, like touchdowns, like really important places. And I think he's going to be able to step up to that plate because of some of these other some of these characteristics of his ability to be able to, like we've already talked about, his athleticism and all these things. Like, I think that's what's going to help separate him and make his role and kind of carve out his role. He's not going to be expected to be the target leader. Even though everybody's, oh my gosh, he's our first runner. He's not, right. He's not. That's Dalton Kincaid. And I think we're going to see some other things. I also think that, and this is kind of a conversation for another day. I think that we're going to see this offense spread out a lot more. I think we're going to not see a full 100% wide receiver 1 usage. I think we're going to see a lot more of the whole tide is going to rise, and there's going to be a lot more players involved more often in this offense. That's my kind of my offseason call out and my offseason prediction for me.
Very interesting there, pal. That's wild only because of the tight ends that we have on this team, right? I can't imagine us not doing a ton of personnel groupings where there aren't 2 tight ends on the field. Not that you can't spread a little bit with 2 tight ends, but.
Well, I think I think Dawson Knox, I think people are writing off Dawson Knox. We forget how freaking good and clutch Dawson Knox is. The guy, I think he had a rough year last year, and especially with that wrist injury, playing through it and then having surgery and then recovering from it, he kind of got off the field. So I think people are kind of missing out on him. I don't know. This is probably a longer conversation for another day, but I think that's where I'm at for this offseason. I think that this offense is going to be much more when I say spread out, Nigel, I didn't mean like spread
Like 5 wide.
Yeah, I meant like we're gonna have more targets go to further down the depth chart as opposed to just Stephon Diggs being 160 targets. Like I think that we're gonna see a bunch of players with 40 plus.
That I agree with. Yeah, I think because
sorry, I used the wrong terms. That was
wrong.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm sorry. I'm fighting a tickle in my throat here, boys.
You're good.
Yeah, dude. I have to agree with that completely because at this point, fuck. Go again, somebody else.
You're good, dude. I'm going to kind of pick up where you left off. Like, I don't think that we're going to be asking Keon to be Stephon Diggs. We're asking him to do other things, right? And fill other roles. And I think we're going to have a lot of people filling a lot of roles and be less reliant on just the one number one elite wide receiver.
Yeah. Well, and that's because right now we don't have one, right? We don't have that elite number one. We have guys that we think could become that, right? Dalton Kincaid, Khalil Shakir, maybe a Keon Coleman. But we don't have it yet.
Right. Yeah.
So
man.
when you don't have a legit number one, that you're right, Tom. That spreading of the rock goes all over the place.
And I think it was intentional. I think it was intentional that they didn't go out because they could have figured out how to trade for somebody or trade up or stick at 28 and pick somebody that they thought was going to be their number one. Right. Like, and I think they can't. I really do think that Brandon Beane believes in Keon Coleman, and thinks that he can eventually become right. Yeah. But I think it was intentional. I think what they've done is intentional, and we're gonna see how this plays up on the field. What do you think, boys? Should we get out of here?
Yeah, let's wrap it up, dude.
All right. Folks, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We really do appreciate it. If you're on YouTube, please give us a like. Please give us a follow. Hit that little bell button and get some notifications because we're essentially here going to be live on YouTube and Twitter pretty much every week. So if you want to come hang out with us live, we're here. We'd love to see you. On that end, please also give us a like and a follow on Instagram, X, TikTok, all at Let's Go Buff Pod. These are my pals, Nigel, and that's Jake. My name is Tom, and you're listening to the Let's Go Buffalo podcast. We're sending you love wherever you are. Go Bills, go Sabres, let's go Buffalo.